Okay, to get going. Okay, this is a special called meeting. Today is Tuesday, August 30, 2022. Meeting is called to order. Item number 2, discussion and possible action to approve possession and use agreement with Bar V Holdings and related consideration.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and talk to you then. This is a little piece of ground across 317 that you're having to condemn for the rail crossing. Why exchange with the railroad? It's This is a very bad coloring of it that I did just about 5 minutes ago in the dark, but it's basically this piece of property outline here. That's the survey comes up to the point there. There's a structure here for water, I believe. And then this is the water structure that's going to be at the creek here. And then there's another structure on the other side of it here.
Where's the highway?
This is
Has a reference.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm
There's the highway
confused.
right there. Here's the rail yard, and here's Canal. I'm talking to 2 different people about this one over here right now.
And where's Messer in connection with this too?
I don't have the measures way up there.
They're probably about SpaceX,
Going
aren't they?
towards SpaceX, it's to the left right before you get to the SpaceX gate.
Okay,
Just past hers.
okay, and so rail yard and the green area is what, and you said it's a water area, what'd you
Well,
say?
You can see the creek coming right across here.
Okay,
You'll cross right there and you'll cross it. Basically, you'll be rebuilding, that drainage structure that's across the highway there to support the railroad crossing. And, this is where you discharge out of the wastewater plant. This
so
is
it's
the one
just
farm.
on the other side of the wastewater plant? huh?
Correct. Right at the very bottom. Go across.
Wow, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's really the only place to make it work. I've gone and looked at it on the ground about half a dozen times, just trying to make it work in my head. You'll be building this up and then.
Yeah, it seemed like we'd have to.
You can't build too much, you have to rebuild the highway. But anyway, this is where the land is in question. The landowner will have good property right here that's fairly flat, buildable for, many different purposes. It's zoned, I think, R7.2 or R10. As is this, we annexed all this a couple of years back. This side is all pretty much, floodplain, and of course, that's a quarry that's filled with water occasionally there. This is the old waste management facility. That's for sale for $1.5 million.
Okay. So the 76,000, that's what our appraiser appraised it?
Yes, sir.
And it's 11 acres?
Approximately, yes, sir. And one of the comparables was an arm's length purchase of this property down south by the Economic Development Corporation. That's comparable, what, 2 years ago? Maybe 3. And then you had a couple of other, comparables between, around Westwood,
Do we know what he's asking?
When he talked to me, he was talking about us writing a check for the whole thing for a couple of million.
Oh my gosh.
I just don't, nice guy, really great guy, just don't see him in condemnation.
All right, so is there a motion on item 2?
Now, this thing, I'm just telling you, the batteries keep going.
Oh, okay. The motion needs to be read like that. Approve the possession.
Yeah, so you can essentially use what's there, but just put in the price. And then that other sentence, that the
Yeah,
amount will be
whoever
deducted.
wants to make
Yeah,
it
just follow that,
can
yeah.
take this.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the possession and use agreement with Bar V and authorize the payment of $76,548. The amount will then be deducted from any award relating to the condemnation.
There's a motion, a second on item number 2. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion carries. All right, let's talk about item 3, discussion regarding appointments to city boards and commissions with action items to be on agenda at regular council meeting to be held on September 12, 2022.
In your package, you had the ones that I, gathered up until I sent the packet out. And then in front of you, you have the ones that I've received as of today.
And I don't fully remember which of you council persons have done this before. Have all of you done this once before?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, I really think this is one of the most important things we do all year. And personally, I think, and again, I'm just basing this on history, the most important one, so if you're thinking that you got someone that you really believe in and trust and has the same vision for the city that you do, I think when you start prioritizing to some extent, but the zoning is so important. They meet a lot and they control the growth of the city. As you know, it's not often that we not follow the recommendation. We have before, in fact, fairly recently, but it's just so important. So if you got someone that you think is just a real bell ringer, then that's really important. So the planning and zoning is very important. Economic development is very important for obvious reasons. The Community Services Advisory Board, based on the changes we made last meeting, now that they're gonna have essentially more responsibility, more city property and services that they're gonna be responsible for, that's extremely important.
And Sherry has asked to be pulled from that.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
It's already got
Too many irons in the fire,
Yeah.
That's enough.
so you can pull that one out.
I didn't know I was gonna get that one.
Now,
Yeah.
Sherry, I'm just kidding. Cannot believe you.
The Housing Authority normally takes care of itself. The Historic Commission just doesn't meet a whole lot. Building and standards, now that can be really important because again, where zoning has to do with the growth of the community, the building and standards has to do with the cleanup of the community, which is equally important. Just doesn't meet as often, but still very important. So And the zoning board of adjustment, they meet, it's just not often. Kevin, can you even remember the last time they met?
The year I came.
Okay, so, there you go. So again, just kind of to recap there, planning and zoning, economic development, and then somewhere in there, community services advisory and building standards, and then the rest. And that's just my opinion, but, I think you ought to just keep that in mind as if you have some folks that come forward. And look, one other thing I'd like to reiterate this year, and that is just because someone has been there a long time, I don't think we should feel compelled to reappoint. Unless you think, oh, that board's been doing exactly what we want to do, or if you think there might be a better person to put on. Again, we don't have to continue to make the same appointments, but you know, there's always value in knowing what you got. So, if you look at and Angie, without having studied this at all, are you getting close to getting a feel from those who are existing members?
Most of them are, sending letters to keep serving.
Okay.
Let's see, Joe Franks,
He suggested Chris Knox take his place.
him and John Sneed both resigned.
From what?
Let's see, what was it?
Frank's was on P and Z.
So John's getting off that? That's kind of surprising. So John is not gonna re-up and Ray Dietzman is not either, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. He pulled out.
Yeah, it was a while back,
Two
right?
years ago, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so that's become a really important spot then. We got 2 openings. Let's kind of run through these real quick then, Angie. Starting at the top, the Building Standards Commission.
So, Mike Buchanan, we have a letter, wishes to stay.
Okay,
Bernice Danforth wishes to stay.
okay.
Eric Benitez wishes to stay. Trenton would like to stay.
All right. And Kevin, give us an idea how many times that board has met in the last year? And maybe can you foresee what they might be doing this coming year?
The building standards.
Yes.
Haven't met much in this last year. We haven't been focused on buildings as much as we have other code violations since Paul Estrada came. But you're going to begin back over in this corner of the universe doing some homework. I would say they'll probably meet 3 or 4 times this next year.
Okay.
They may have to get back together on the Walter Brandt building by the dance studio, possibly again, but I keep hearing that's about to sell, but I haven't seen it happen yet.
And what are the requirements of this board?
It's good to have people who are, number one, concerned about how the community looks, number two, have a little bit of structural knowledge, but that's not, completely necessary.
And the reason I ask, I know at least one, I don't think 8503 New Windsor's in the city limits. In fact, I'm sure it's not.
Say that again?
Mike Buchanan, it's not in the city
No,
limits.
he's outside the city,
Yeah.
but he's one of those that has
Yeah,
some
and they
structural
own-
knowledge
yeah,
and stuff.
and they own property, I do
I
believe.
believe the requirement is that they must live or own property within the city limits of McGregor.
Yeah.
The business must fall within that.
Yep.
And he owns a house across the street from me,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, he owns
that.
several, and Trenton Rice does too, he owns property all through McGregor. Okay, all right, good. So everybody on this one has, re-upped, huh?
Yeah. That building standards, all of them.
Okay, let's then take a quick look at Community Services Advisory Board. I think we just did, and you said John Sneed and Ray are out.
Yes, and the letters that we have, from Catherine Logan. And I've received the letters for that.
Well,
Who is, anybody know Catherine Roden?
That's the lady that was here at last meeting.
She got up to speak at the last city council meeting.
Yeah, I remember. She's pretty persistent,
She is
huh?
also on the Chamber of Commerce Board.
I just remember, again, my big concern, she didn't live here.
Yes, she does.
She lives within city limits, she lives a block away from me.
She does, did she last year? Seemed like there was-
they've just moved in, yeah.
You're thinking of the lady that lived in Lorena?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
that was-
exactly
that
right.
was-
That was Janet.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yes, that was
Yeah,
it.
okay.
And then, are you familiar with Nate Mooring? He and his wife have connections. They just recently moved from Main Street to over by Subway.
Yes,
He's
I am.
expressed interest as well. I'm waiting to hear for him to put a letter in for that board.
Okay. He is he's a church kind of guy, right? Has a,
Yeah, so they do the,
McGregor Connection.
Church Alive.
that's what it is. And then I know they run the
And then the
connections.
Connections is kind of
Yeah.
like the youth area of it, and then he also does real estate. And they own multiple properties with these.
Okay, well, that sounds promising. So we just don't have letters from,
He's the only letter I'm missing. He expressed interest verbally, so I'll just have to follow up with him so we get a copy.
does anybody know Ren other than you? Do you know
Yes, sir, I
Ren?
do.
Anybody else on the council know who that is?
I know
Kind
her
of
from,
seen her
Mhm.
events.
I know her from chamber board meetings. She always represents herself well. She takes it seriously.
Okay, let's keep rolling through here. Thanks, Cassie. And again, if anybody has any knowledge about these folks, please speak up. Tonight's a good
Was
night.
that was community services?
Yes.
Do they need to live in the city limits?
I don't know what the formal requirements are, but
It's, must reside within the city of McGregor or McLennan County, expressing interest in the event center and or one of the divisions within community services.
Okay.
And then we have, the only other requirement is that one board member must be from the city council, which we currently have this range.
I contacted Sherry Zacharias, to see if she'd be interested. She was concerned because she lives out in the country, and I was like, I think you're okay. And and then she's also concerned about the time commitment.
yeah,
They currently meet once a quarter.
yeah, I've
Much
been
more.
with Sherry on boards, and I know she had to get off of one that I was
Yeah.
with her for that very reason.
She's fixing to retire, he said.
She, yeah, she just lives in the edge of McLennan County. That Coryell County line goes right through there, and I was just trying to think. but,
Oh, that's
yeah,
true.
yeah, she's in McLennan County.
Right outside.
Or Troy, you know, I did either one of them. They're such,
Yeah.
you know, they're very knowledgeable about the community.
I'm happy to reach out to her if you would like me to.
Well, I don't wanna, I mean, yeah, that's fine. She's, I mean, I've traded some emails with her just to see if she might be interested. She's thinking about it.
Didn't you say you got a note from Otis Foster?
Yes.
Okay,
About,
about his appointment up too.
to economic development.
Well, on the Community Service Advisory Board, right here where it says the four, we have Kevin scratched out. Like, do we need to do anything with these names on the bottom?
Where is this?
On the Community Service Advisory Board?
Kevin was a member, you'll opt not to put back on the board the last go round.
Okay.
I don't even see what you're talking about. Oh,
Down at
how
the
you
bottom
see.
of the-
So
Yeah.
down at the bottom,
Yeah, so
Kathy,
he's not even on
Community
it now,
Services,
though.
Okay.
It says the four exchange officers are to be sitting members of the advisory as follows.
But that's changed.
That's-
Yes.
That's changed. That was how we initiated the setup of the board, so that we knew how we would set it up with the initial 5 members.
Okay, so I can pull that off at the bottom.
Okay.
Economic development. Two council persons.
I haven't heard from our council people.
I'm still there.
They can speak for themselves, I guess. I received a letter from, John Hudson. And did you forward me on his Foster's?
I thought he sent it to both of us. If I haven't, I will.
Okay.
So there are 4 positions available.
Yes.
2 are council. That is ultimately up for you guys to decide who those 2 members are. The EDC is currently Ms. Adams and Mr. Henderson. And so that's up to you guys to decide which 2 city council members attend. And then the other 2 current members that are up, both sent in letters expressing their interest in continuing to serve.
And Mike Wooten and David Katzenhinkle, I don't know how to pronounce that, Katzenhinkle. They both, listed planning and zoning, economic development, zoning board of adjustment, and building standards.
What's that one to be on?
They were interested.
And who was
in
the other person? I know, of course, who Mike is.
David Camp, I don't know who that is.
Does anybody know who that is?
And then is he from Waco? Or is that just his business?
That's probably business, but I don't. I can look, see if he has a water account.
Do you call or notify them, hey, we're gonna have this on the agenda, if you'd like to attend, so council?
Yes, that's what,
Okay.
it's on
I always think it's important for them to show up. If you wanna be here, you need to show up. I mean, obviously, sometimes you just can't, and that's okay, but close calls seems like end up to people that show up and advocate for themselves.
Yeah,
well, and the ones that are just saying that they're wanting to continue to serve,
Yeah.
they don't come.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other ones, they, I tell them when the meeting is.
okay.
And it was also in the paper saying the city council will make the appointments on September the 12th.
Let's look at the historic commission. So nothing from those folks yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. Watson Arnold, he's the gentleman that,
And then I was what's sitting over here. At night. What?
yes,
What's it-
that's what I was reminding myself of.
Yeah, that was him. He's a mess. He's getting on up there.
Housing Authority,
Bernice Danforth wants to continue, Jerry Payne wants to continue. We did find out that we thought there could only be one resident, on the board, but they said that you at least have to have one resident, cause I think there was another person that was there.
Resident
that
of the
wanted-
facility,
I'm sorry?
of their facilities.
Yes, of their facility. And Linda Thomas, and then Levon Westbrook, I let, Joan Wright know that she also was interested in serving. So, I'll ask Joan, because they, really, they pretty much kinda tell us who they want on the board.
okay. And then P and Z, we know
So.
Joe Franks is stepping down, huh?
Yes. I got a letter from David Willard. He wants to continue to serve. Pat Richardson would like to continue. Joe Frank is resigning. And he put in Chris Knox's name, and then Chris Knox followed up with me and said that he would be willing to serve on replacing Joe Franks on the planning and zoning board. And then Danny Benitez said he would like to continue to serve, and he would like to become a sitting member since he has served as an alternate now for a couple of terms.
Has the alternate ever needed to step in?
They, even when they have, I know, at least once last year, I don't remember which one, but maybe both. I think it may have been Jim and Danny at one point. What I fix to say, I had another thing to add to that, but I don't remember. But yes, they have, just not very often. And, I was gonna tell you, they come sometimes anyway, just to keep up with what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I don't think Jim's missed one even when he doesn't have to sit in.
And then you have the letter from Dennis Baylor saying that he is showing interest in the planning and zoning.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Knox, I believe, he's on another board.
He's on the zoning.
Say again?
Chris Knox is on zoning board of adjustment.
Of adjustment.
Yeah, zoning board of adjustments.
Well, if we move Chris to any sort of anything on the zoning side, you'd have to take him off the Board of Adjustment.
Yep.
So, and that's okay, just know that we would have to, and we've got a person or two.
The only thing about that is Danny has served as an alternate. And we
Yeah.
He's faithfully served, and we told him he could have his chance to move up.
Yep, and one thing though, we could
But
do
I
the
do
same
like-
with Chris. We could move Chris to the alternate and move somebody else into the,
Yeah.
you know, for example, Michael, who already sits on a board, I bet you he would step into that spot if, yeah, I mean, that's one of the places he listed.
It's good to have people who want to serve.
Yes.
Okay, well, this is great. If y'all just continue to follow up.
Did you do the zoning board of adjustment?
Well, no, not really. So we look here.
So Jeff Burgess wants to continue, Dylan Heath wants to continue. Ella Kelly, I called and left a message, but I haven't heard from her. Jean Taylor wants to continue. And then we have those two vacancies that have been hanging around for a while.
Yeah.
And since we do have those vacancies, that's why I put, those notes out to the side that, that we can keep on track with the terms. That some of them will just have to serve like 1 year, so we can keep
Get it on track.
that in track. I don't wanna get that off again.
Yeah. All right, do we have any other meetings planned before our next, before this regular meeting in September?
Nope, we didn't have this one planned.
Yeah, I know.
September 12th should be your next meeting.
Okay. Okay, anybody else have any thoughts along those appointments we'll be making in a couple of weeks?
What's the deadline for committee people?
September the 7th, because I have to post the agenda. I mean, we've accepted them later, but as far as, having them in their packets and being able to review, I asked for September the 2nd, so I can get the meeting posted.
Thank you.
Okay, that takes us to announcements from city manager.
Very quickly, I want to brag on the folks in, well, all the field departments, because they've all worked together with the kind of lull that we've had. And Cassie has got them on point to take care of the ducks at Amsler by actually making a pond out of the pond. And while they were digging, they found a spring that had been stopped up forever.
Is that how that water got in there?
Yes, sir, it's currently still filling itself.
2-inch.
Wow.
Awesome.
Operator was Lot, I think, most of the time on the leased excavator, and they put a pipe down in it, and it 2-inch full, coming out about 2-3 inches. Solid.
When I drove by there Sunday, I just wanted to check on it. They had it, by the way, it looks great. They've got it so cleaned out.
They've
compared
done a
to what
great
it
job.
was. But I thought, where did all that water come from? I literally thought, well, they probably dropped a fire truck over here.
I asked Chad today when they were gonna be able to get back to their real jobs. Of course, that's some of them's real job. And they're talking about, and I haven't had a chance to ask, doing possibly some stone riprap up creek so that it doesn't silt in so badly in the future.
Yeah.
So there may be a few other things happening out there. You want,
Oh, you wanna get this other mic, Cassie?
yeah, just come over here.
Any chance we can stock it
Turn it
before
on.
October 1st?
That would be about to Texas Parks and Wildlife, that one's up to
Okay.
me. So essentially, up
I
there
will
closer
ask,
to the
actually.
Blue Bridge, it kind of does a drop off right there, and then the pond becomes really deep. They excavated somewhere between 6 and 8 feet of kind of mud and muck that was at the bottom of the pond, kind of just blocking everything. And once they did, we've got a little ledge that sits right there, and if you've seen the big, they're 2 by 2 by 5 foot, like limestone blocks that we use in the park. We'll do 2 rows of that, so it'll water just trickle over the top of it, and they'll backfill it with some lime so that it'll essentially catch a lot of our silt going in. It'll keep our pond off in there for a lot longer.
Cool.
You can currently see the bottom of it, if the water is clear.
Yeah, it did look good, but I was shocked when I saw water. I thought, where did the water
Oh,
come
they were shocked on Tuesday morning when they came in and there was water, and they thought for sure, oh boy, did we do something wrong? And Lot, who of course does water utilities, looked for everywhere, and then they just stopped and waited and started noticing where it was coming from. They had to dam that section up and work around it to get the water to stop flowing into the rest of the pond so that they could actually do the cleanup.
But it definitely got a lot of attention on Facebook, because people were like, what are they doing? And then somebody commented, there used to be, I think there was a spring that fed that.
Thus the name McGregor Springs.
Yeah, it, every day it comes up just a few more feet, it's filling itself up, so we'll see
Yeah.
how much it comes out.
That's great.
Amazing.
That'll actually make it harder to keep trout, because the rain will overflow it and the trout will go downstream, but we could probably put a basket or 2 on there to stop that.
Get a couple 100,000 trout in there before October 1st.
We don't get near that
Kids
many,
Day.
but we get,
They did grade it out this morning, they took the motor grader down there, did a wonderful job, so they'll be doing a little bit more cleanup around the side, and then once the blocks arrive, they'll set all of those.
anyway, I just wanted to brag on you folks. They've done a good job. And the cheapest quote we got was $35,000 about. And I asked probably 8 or 9 years ago when we were talking about putting a clay lining down, which would be the last thing you want to do now.
Yeah.
And it was like 60-some-odd thousand. So they did a good job.
60,000 to clay line that thing?
Well, to clean it out and then clay line it.
Jeez.
And I will tell you, before we went ahead and rented the excavator, Lot went down there with a backhoe and dug a couple of test
you've got a good crew, and they have multiple levels of talent in multiple disciplines. Just gonna tell you. That's all I've got.
Okay, anybody else have anything under the next item? All right, and this meeting is adjourned, 7:13.
Thank y'all for being